off the back of that huge win by Golden 60 last weekend and also Voyage Bubble in the Classic Mile. There is more group racing at Sha Tin this Sunday, including a Group 1 for the sprinters and a Group 3 for the stayers as well. Welcome to Racing to Win. We've got it previewed for you all right here and joined in the studio by Paul Lally and Tom Wood. And Tom, it's Wellington v Lucky Sweynesse again.
Yeah, and we know, Mark, Lucky Sweynesse was very unlucky last time out. If Wellington is, though, to, of course, win the Centenary Sprint Cup this weekend, he will be one of only two horses that have won all of the Group 1 races here in Hong Kong over less than 1,400 metres.
He's certainly a big chance of doing that. We'll find out if the boys do think he will be doing that shortly. There's no triple trio jackpot, Paul. Finally, it went off last week.
It did, didn't it? It all got one last week, but there is a 6-up win bonus of 1.9 million, so that should get up to about 5 million. So there's a decent bonus there. A whole host of sort of younger horses coming through the card as well, which should start short price favourites, I think. And
a number of horses too, which will have an eye on the Classic Mile with a race throughout the program featuring last start winner in Drom Beg Banner. But we've got a scratching to report before we go any further. Race 10, number 12, Golden Express comes out, replaced by Manstar, and Keith Young will take the ride. So race 10, a new number 12. The meeting details. It is a 10-race program, so it's the normal start time of 1 o'clock local for the opening race. And it is meeting number 42, all on the turf, and it is the B+2 course. We have got the Centenary Vase and the Centenary Sprint, the two races that we're going to focus on for you right here, and they go at 4:05 and 4:40 respectively. The Centenary Vase and Glorious Dragon. Place 2 from 4. Second up, Senor Toba has the visor coming off. Moneycatcher unbeaten in Group 3. And then we've got a Kaying Star. All of his wins have been 1,600. Running Glory race as well over the 1,800. And Looking Great Tom is a two-time winner over the 1,800 metres. Small field, long run down the back. Who leads and what sort of pace? Yeah, well, Moneycatcher should be up there. You wouldn't imagine he's going to get too much of a strong tempo off the front here, Moneycatcher. He was pestered up on the lead last time out at Happy Valley. Looking Great, he can sit prominently, Paul, from barrier number 1. And Kaying Star, if it was the Kaying Star of old, he'd probably be the leader.
Yeah, well, that's the alternative, isn't it? But he hasn't really shown that in his recent start. So there is an alternative leader there with Kaying Star. Senor Toba, I think, will be just sort of midfield in the small field. Running Glory generally gets back, and Glorious Dragon does the same. So I don't think there'll be too much change about those ones.
Speaking of a Glorious Dragon, Tom, as we look at previous winners, he won this race 2 years ago.
He did. He's had a few issues since then. Of course, Zabrowski won it last year, and he's since been retired from Hong Kong racing. Of course, the good horse Exultant. And Denozo a few years ago, Paul was able to win, but myriad of different winners there.
Yeah, there is, isn't there? And look, it does throw up a different sort of winner that's coming through sort of this 1,800 metre sort of distance.
All right, so that's the previous winners. Perhaps this year's winner could be Moneycatcher. To find out more, Nick spoke to his trainer, Frankie Law.
Frankie, Moneycatcher runs in the Centenary Vase on Sunday. That was a nice win in the January Cup last time. How's he been since?
After race is good. He could keep the form really good, yeah.
No trial since then? Was it just a case of ticking him over until this race?
Yeah, no need to trial, yeah. His form is good, and after this one, I'll think about the end of this month. They have a Gold Cup try, yeah.
So with that in mind, is this very much a trial for the Gold Cup in your mind going forward?
Yeah, because 2000. I think 18 and 2000 suitable for him, yeah.
You took the blinkers off for the international meet. I mean, that was perhaps a bold move, given that he'd won the ladies' purse with them on. Do you feel he's sort of a better horse without the blinkers, or?
Before he hasn't win yet, I tried to put some gears on, and after he win the race, I put Hill Bowman on the, I think 2000, the Group 2 race. He said a little bit keen. If we can take off the blinkers, make him relax to be better. So we take the blinkers off. He still won good, yeah.
He obviously took a few races to win 113, but now he has come good. He is the highest rated horse in your stable as well. So are there I imagine there's a few hopes pinned on this horse, aren't there?
Yeah. Now, before, he hasn't got a winner. Maybe he had it, and then now he's getting better. So, and always consistent. I think it's should be okay, yeah.
I wanted to ask you about a pace angle in the race, Frankie. Now, there is a bit of tempo in this. Kaying Star and Looking Great are all horses that do like to go forward. Looking Great, obviously, your other runner. We'll get a line on him shortly. Does Moneycatcher have to lead, or is he happy taking a sit equally?
He can take a seat. Doesn't matter. Yeah, he can lead or take a seat. Yeah.
Looking great is your other runner, as I mentioned. What of him? I mean, he would look a little bit outclassed possibly, but do you feel he's a horse with a lightweight's chance?
Yeah, he always lightweight should be better, and then 18 should be the best distance for him. He can 2002. He win the race also.
And he's running the January Cup was quite creditable, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
There he is, Frankie Law, Paul. As we have a look at the graphic of Money Catcher, we saw the race in the replay there. That was a big win in the January Cup because he got pestered by Red Majesty.
He did, didn't he? So, look, he's really sort of found his straps here. He'd been a consistent sort of non-winner, hadn't he, leading into it. But now he's won 2 from his last 4. I think this is a nice race for him as well. I do think he'll get to the front. Looking great. Obviously, he's not going to take him on. And you can see the 2-time winner there, one at Sha Tin and now one at Happy Valley.
If they do opt to lead, I don't think there's going to be as much pressure for him this time round as there was there at Happy Valley. Just one of those horses, Mark, that just seems to go that sort of one tempo the whole way and always runs his honest race.
Right, so that's a comprehensive wrap on Money Catcher. We move on, Tom, to the little horse, Running Glory. Now, he ran third here last time. This was in Class 2 with 134 pounds. 116 on his back. He's not going to know himself.
Yeah, New Year's Day this was. Back on the 21st last time out. He was doing his best work late, wasn't he? Down the outside, really closing off strongly. The last bit of this race, Paul, was very good, which is encouraging for 1,800 metres.
Yeah, look, he's only a little horse. He gets that weight relief. He comes into 116. So I think he's one of the main dangers to Money Catcher in this race.
All right, Wagner just rides him for John Size. Now, the winner from 2 years ago, Paul Glorious Dragon, he's only had one run back from a very long spell. He ran 9th. This is a trial since then. You can't miss him. He's the big grey.
Yeah, look, and he finishes off nice. He is getting on a bit in age now and has had a couple of issues, this horse. So he's one I didn't put in the end.
Yeah, I didn't quite get him in either. He was doing his best work late here in this barrier trial. Never really got involved from the back of the field at Happy Valley last time out. So just happy to see what he can do here. But the trial was taking good ground off them at the end over a trip that was inappropriate for him.
And that was Nebula that won that trial. Next up, Tom, we've got Senor Toba now. He's got the passport out, so this will be a trial, I guess, to see if he goes overseas. It was really disappointing last time in the Vase.
Yeah, he was up front, set the tempo with there, and then sort of the 300 metres he was headed. He ran on okay, I thought, in this trial, Paul. If they've got Qatar on their minds, he'd be wanting to go close in this race, but he's just got no sort of quicken at all, this horse, the last
No, he is, isn't he? He's sort of one pace, a real star is Senor Toba. Look, I don't think it worked last time when he led, so I think they'll take a sit sort of midfield with him. And look, I've included him because it's only a small field. I think he's got a chance.
A more classy style, Wonder Years. Same sort of pace, kept going round and round.
Yeah, maybe.
I meant a higher graded Wonder Years. And Ka Ying Star, Paul, he's never won, as mentioned, past 1,600 metres, but he has run a couple of placings over the 1,800. Importantly, he did lead up in this trial.
Yeah, look, which we haven't seen for a while with him. I mean, but he has been racing against horses like Romantic Warrior, etc. But he did run against Money Catcher 3 starts ago and was slow out and didn't lead on that occasion. Look, he is getting on a bit in age. The Ka Ying Star of old could easily win this race. I just included him on a monologue.
Yeah, I left him out in the end. He was up outside the leader, faded sort of the last 300 there in the Cup, pushed out a few times late in that barrier trial over 1,600 metres. So, no, he's not in for me this time round.
That is the breakdown for the Centenary Vase. 4:05 is start time, Paul, and who's going to win at about 4:07?
Yeah, well, I think 4:07. Money Catcher can win this race now. He's hit his straps nicely. Running Glory will have to give Money Catcher a bit of a start. Senor Toba and Ka Ying Star. 3-5-2-4.
I think it's Money Catcher's race to lose here. Yes, he does have the weight to carry 132 pounds, but he can dictate off the front here with hopefully not too much pressure. He got plenty of pressure last time out. Running Glory goes in. Lightweight's definitely going to suit him off that run back on the 21st where he was closing off over a mile. Senor Toba didn't work going to the front last time out, but they had to try something against those international horses because if they'd quickened in the mid and the later stage of that race, he wouldn't have been able to quicken with them, Senor Toba. And looking great, comes into this off the back of a handy run, I thought, last time out in the January Cup behind Money Catcher. 3, 5, 2 and 6.
That is the preview for the Group 3, the Centenary Vase. We head to a break here on Racing to Win. Group 1 preview of the Centenary Sprints is after this. Welcome back to Racing to Win. It's time to preview the Group 1. On Sunday afternoon, it is the Centenary Sprint Cup over the 1,200 metres. Wellington looking for his own little slice of history in this race. Lucky Swainess has drawn Barry number 8. They'll be the top two in the market. Sight Success is the last start winner of the Bohemia Sprint Trophy. He goes to the 1,200 metres. Skyfield carries £9 less than that third behind Sight Success last time. Super Wealthy has the cheek pieces off. Courier Wonder was a Group 1 fourth over 1,200 2 runs ago behind Wellington on International Day, and Master 8's been back to the trials. He is a 3-time winner, course and distance. I guess Tom will focus on the two biggies here on the speed map to start off with. Who gets the better run, Wellington or Lucky Swainess? Yeah,
well, Lucky Swainess, sometimes he's not the quickest out of the gate. Wellington, you can see he's got the trail there, but I think the draw this time out should work well for Lucky Swainess. It gives Zach Purton a few more options, shouldn't get cluttered up on the inside there. They'd had, of course, that better barrier draw in the international sprint, but it, in the end, played against them, Paul. Yeah,
it did, didn't it? He got cluttered up there, as you said. Look, if he is a bit slow away, I think Master 8 and Lucky Swainess could be swapping places. They're the two that I wasn't too sure on, but Master 8 has been a little bit slow out himself. Courier Wonder, look, we know he's had pace in the past, but he's gone back in recent starts. Skyfield always goes back, Super Wealthy midfield, and Wellington's jumped well in his last couple of starts, and we've seen him put himself right in the race. So if he does that once again, I think he's going to get a perfect run behind Sight Success.
That is the speed map for the Group 1. Skyfield, who's at the back of that speed map, is who we're going to hear from his trainer shortly. But firstly, Tom, the past winners. It's a race that John Size has dominated.
Hot King Prawn beat the clock, and also DB Pin there for John Size. Marrera there as well on 3 of those. Of course, Paul, last year it was stronger, but a couple of weeks ago he was retired because he bled again at the trial.
He did, didn't he? So look, John Size has obviously got his best chance is going to be Sight Success, isn't it? And he is running well at the moment.
Well, Skyfield was second last year behind Stronger. They had a great stretch battle between them. In the end, Stronger just prevailed. Let's see if Casper Founds can get the big chestnut to go one better this week.
Casper Skyfield lines up in the big one this weekend, the Centenary Sprint Cup. He's holding his form very well and back up in trip this time.
Yeah, he's been racing very consistently. I thought his last run under handicap conditions was really good. Obviously, you know, it's tough when you come up against Wellington and the up-and-coming horse, Lucky Swainess, who looks to be the next superstar in the sprinting ranks here in Hong Kong. So, look, my guy is what he is. He's very consistent, he's honest, and he'll be giving us a similar type of race again on Sunday. He's in great nick.
If history should repeat itself, he's only really got about a head to find on last year's form in this race. He's always been a horse, hasn't he, that turns up and runs his race in these big races.
Absolutely. He's very consistent, he's very honest. And he's a great horse to have for the yard. So, yeah, we still got some nice races left in this horse, so hopefully we look forward to the future with him as well, you know.
What type of horse is he to train, Casper? Would he have done much between running last time down the straight and this race?
He's had a couple of nice bits of work. His work yesterday on the grass was very pleasing. He was happy with him. He's a relatively fresh horse, you know. He likes to go into these races feeling good, and I think we've got him, you know, just where we want him.
And the plan with him going forward, obviously without putting the cart before the horse, if we will, but Dubai very much still the plan with him?
Yeah, absolutely. Dubai's, you know, that's big on my radar for him. It's a race I really think we'll see the best of him at, you know, and the straight 6 is really going to suit him. So I look forward to going down to Dubai with him.
And for him as a character travelling, did you think he's the type of horse that will take all that and will probably, you know, almost if anything, go to another level with the travel, etc.?
There's always a possibility with these types of horses. You know, we know he's got the ability. We know he can run you a massive sectional, and under the right conditions, when it all comes together, you know, you might see something that's very, very exciting. He's definitely a top-line sprinter. I think wherever we take him, you know, he's going to run with a lot of merit. And we'll be hopeful that we get the right gate and have a nice run in transit, and I'm sure it'll be competitive.
Casper on Skyfield there. We move on, Tom, to International Day, and this was Wellington, of course, winning up on the outside. That is him turning for home, getting to the outside. Sight Success raced handy to the speed. Skyfield, he's following Wellington at this stage. Courier Wonder win a massive race at huge odds. Super Wealthy's buried in the ruck, and Duke Y is in behind there. Of course, the unlucky story of the race is that horse right there, Lucky Swainess. Yeah, he just got cluttered up, couldn't get it cleared, had the horse from Singapore in front of him, Limbs Kosciuszko, and wasn't able to get clear there at all. And I think, Paul, he should have definitely won this race
on that occasion. Lucky Swainess. Wellington moved into the clear and won it well, and we know what Sight Success has done since. He's come out and won again.
Yeah, I mean, would he have won it? I don't know. I mean, he could have, but
I reckon he would have.
You reckon he would have? I'm not so sure, but I think Wellington can beat him on Sunday.
All right, so Paul's put it on the line there. And speaking of Wellington, here he is again now. What did you make of these trials, Paul? Master 8 was given a strong hit out. Alexi was urging Wellington along down the straight also. Duke Wise had a terrific season, and Courier Wonder, that's him wider on the track. But he certainly worked on was Wellington here.
He was, but look, it was a good workout for him, I think. So, obviously this is the race they've got in mind for him, and he was pushed out a little bit in the trial. Different surface, of course. Duke Wai is a horse who's going really well at the moment. I've included Duke Wai. I think he's going nicely. And Master 8, that's why I was just a little bit worried. I just wonder if Master 8 will push on, because he did trial nicely, didn't he?
Yeah, well, this was a better showing from him at the trials, but he's been out of sorts for a wee while. His last one was in January 2022 off a rating of 95, and he did have some traffic issues last time out down the straight, but we haven't seen the same Master 8 maybe as 12, 18 months ago.
All right, so that's that trial. Our next replay, Tom, is the Chinese Club Challenge Cup. The unknown into this race was, could Lucky Swainess carry 135 pounds? I guess it was talked about as the biggest danger to him. Well, he answered that with a massive yes.
He did. He's a good, solid, robust horse. He is Lucky Swainess, and he was up outside Healthy Happy, capitulated quickly in the straight in this race once Lucky Swainess got to him, and he's been disappointing again since. But the win, I thought, was very good, and he's going to be tough to beat here, I think, Paul. Barrier 8 is going to really suit him, I feel.
Yeah, this was 1,400 metres. He did win nicely enough, didn't he? And back to 1,200 metres on Sunday.
He's also been back to the trials to keep the fitness in the legs, Paul. This was on the 20th of January, and he's up outside the leader turning for home. The leader is Drombeg Benner.
Yeah, don't know who's racing another race on the card. So, look, it's a nice trial from him. There's no doubt the horse is going well. It's going to be a really good race between him and Wellington. There's no doubt they're the two main protagonists for me. And a good trial from him.
Yep, he wasn't really asked too many questions this morning by Zach Purton. Just asked to extend the last little bit and looked to do it pretty comfortably there. So looks spot on for the race.
All right, before we go any further, Sight Success has been talked about a number of times through those replays. Wagner Borges rides for John Size.
He's very well. I have 4 wins with him, yeah. And I like him too much. This is a big race, very hard race. Have 2 good horse in the race, but I think he can run really well. Yeah, maybe win. He's a very consistent horse, and I don't know about him. I think he have a good chance in this race. Huh?
On his win last time out, Wagner, I mean, he was impressive over 1,000 metres. How much excitement did that bring you? I mean, he's clearly a nice horse who you know very well. You must have been very pleased to win that Group 3 on him last time.
I think this race is better for him. 1,200. Don't have a lot of speed in the race. Huh? Have a good draw. He can run in front or second, first. Don't have a problem for him. And for me, I have just 2 horses in the race. Badel's horse and Zach's horse. Very good horse, but I can run maybe in front. I have more chance. I have his speed. I think he can run the same last time. A little bit more hard this race, but he can win.
And if you'd like to hear more from Wagner, Nick sat down for an extended chat on HK Direct this week. You can jump on the website hkjc.com, click on audio and video. Back we go to the Bohemia Sprint Trophy, which we've just seen in that replay here, Tom. We have got Sight Success, who wins down the outside. We've also got Skyfield, Duke Wise in the race, Super Wealthy's there. We've got Courier Wonder, he's over there, and Master 8, he's back there.
Some of your best work there, Mark. Master 8, you can see Master 8 sort of behind them here, cluttered up for a bit of a run, and Duke Wai was also cluttered up towards the outside rail, Paul, with Skyfield, but he's flying this horse at the moment to Sight Success, and if he is going to lead, he might be a hard horse to get past.
Yeah, no, he definitely goes in for me. And I'm going to put Jigwai in as well. I thought he finished off really strongly, and 1200's good for him.
So look at the breakdown of the sectionals. Tom Duquoy getting home in 22.36.
Yeah, he did there, and you can see that the quickest home was Skyfield, but that's certainly not unusual for him. The midsection there was 20.45 for Super Wealthy, who I think maybe is better suited to the 1,000 metre.
Yeah, definitely he's a 1,000-metre horse for me.
Sounds like you two are going to be divided here on the winner. You go first, Paul.
I think we're going to have the same Quinella, but I've gone one to beat two. I thought Wellington could beat Lucky Sweetness. He can get himself into that nice position. Duke Y Insight Success, 1, 2, 7 and 3.
Yep, 2 on top for me. Lucky Sweetness, I thought he should have won last time out. Had no luck there. Wellington, number 1, of course, the Group 1 winner. Sight Success and Skyfield. It's around the top 4, 2, 1, 3 and 4.
The group racing has been covered on this episode, but there are another 8 races, Paul, on the program. Give us a few winners.
I quite like Encore in this. In the race number 1, I think his best run was him last start. Perfetto's going well at the moment. Super Fortune comes back to a straight 1,000 with the Apprentice Claim. Daring Pursuit was impressive last time. Chili Baba up to 1,200. Looks good for him. He was impressive, as was Supreme Lucky. Money Catch from Wellington we've talked about. Happy Together was unlucky not to win last time. And California Rad, he's gone really well in a recent trial. He's got the £10 claim, and I think he could be a bit of a price in the last.
He's back, the Radster.
The Radster.
Yeah, back on side. Who's your best bet?
The best bet for me, I'm going to go with Super Fortune down the straight 1,000 with the Apprentice Claim. I think he'll get to the front. We Are Hero. He'll give him something to catch. And then California Rad, each way in the last. Obviously, Mighty Strides could be the toughest to beat, but should get a good price about the Radster. And QQP, race 4, 1, 3 and 13.
Best for me comes up in race number 9. It's horse 9, Happy Together. Really ran home well last start, has kept on improving, does hold an entry for the BMW Hong Kong Derby. So that's the best. The value, Mark 10, who I thought improved last time out. Race 2, number 10, Vincent Ho, Ricky Yu, stable Airborne at the moment. And the play, Lucky Sweetness to beat Wellington.
Chili Baba won on debut when he probably shouldn't have. He was able to shoulder into the clear late and got up narrowly to score. Another debut winner for Ricky Yu, so we'll stick with him. Celtic Times, Happy Together's going to be hard to beat in that race, but he does step up to the 1,600. Won over the 1,500 at Tipperary before arriving, did Celtic Times and a forecast. Race 5, Chili Baba and Super Highway 1 and 9 in race number 5. That has been Racing to Win, Tom, for a Group 3 and a Group 1 day at Sha Tin. Then we're back to Happy Valley on Wednesday night.
Yeah, we wrap up things there with the DBS Manulife Million Challenge. We've got Class 1 race Paul over 1,650 and over 1,200 metres.
Yeah, Pink Eye Galaxy's going so well at the moment. He's in that. I'm interested to see Encountered as well. He's still a chance for the 4-year-old series as well.
We'll find out on Wednesday night. That has been Racing to Win. We'll see you at Sha Tin on Sunday for the first at 1 o'clock.